Good morning, everyone. We're on the record. It is 9 a.m. on August 17th, 2022. And this is a public deliberation of the Baltimore County Board of Appeals in the matter of Beazer Homes, LLC, 3920 Klausmeyer Road, Nottingham, Maryland, 21236, in case number CBA-22-026 regarding an October 13th, 2021 letter from the acting director of the Department of Public Works denying a requested waiver of public works standards for road improvements for improving Klausmeyer Road to a 40-foot roadway and a 60-foot right-of-way. This public deliberation is being recorded. Mr. Lauer, Mr. Pennington, as I recall, there were primarily procedural issues that were raised and substantive issues regarding compliance with the standards. The first issue before us was whether we have subject matter jurisdiction to renew a denial of the waiver request. I believe that under the local government article in the Baltimore County Charter, we do, but wanted to get your opinion, Mr. Lauer.
Yes, I believe we do too. I think it says that an action of an administrative officer, and I would read the director of DPW, or acting director at the time, I believe it was, as an administrative officer, and that's my waving on it, or my take on it.
Mr. Pennington?
I totally agree.
And I do think it's a final action that is reviewable. And I believe the standard of review is de novo under our charter.
I agree with that also.
As do I.
So, having said that, what is your feeling about the compliance with the alternate development plan with the considerations for granting such a waiver? Mr. Lauer?
Well, in reading through everything, the memorandum, and looking back through my notes, I thought that the main reason for the county not wanting to do this or grant this waiver was the future cost here. And in thinking about that and thinking through that, I think that the future cost is obviously something to consider in the matter, that if the county ever decides it wants to, widen this and put in the curb and the gutter and everything that is to be done by the developer in this matter. But I didn't see anything in terms of priority or the capital plan to have this done. And that kind of is a concern to me, because if it was a priority to have the sidewalk and the gutter and the curb along this section of Klausmeyer Road, the other problem I see with not granting the waiver is if in fact, well, two other problems. Number one is the cost to the developer. And I think there was a statement in there where the developer said that this project may not get done. And the last thing is the fill-in of the property, that the county, if in fact, the developer completes this project and does as the county requests, the county would have to acquire, at least part of the land in front of the snaggletooth or whatever it was called. I forget what it was referred to. And I see that as a major project to fill in.
Are you talking about the houses along Klausmeyer Road that sort of sawtooth the right of way along?
Yes, that's the one I was talking about. Also influencing my take on this was the community association and balancing out their thoughts about this, and the community association's thoughts that there was no need for this, basically the road project here in this area. So all of that is kind of weighing on my mind and making me tend towards feeling that the waiver should be granted.
Mr. Pennington,
I agree with Mr. Lauer. I think the waiver should be granted for all the reasons Mr. Lauer stated. I mean, I don't know if he mentioned the utility pole. They have to move six or eight utility poles, which comes at an extraordinary cost. I think the big thing is that tooth, the missing tooth part of the property. So, unless you take property from these property owners, you're going to have a road you have to widen the road, and it's going to come back in and then widen again on the other side. And same with sidewalk, as they mentioned, the sidewalk to nowhere. That's what it would be. The alternate plan that the petitioner came up with would be that the 5-foot wide path that leads through the area, which I think should accomplish what needs to be done. I just don't. To me, it makes perfect sense in a case like this to grant the waiver, especially when the neighborhood's on board with it. They're fully on board with what the petitioner wants to do. So that plus the cost benefit analysis, as long as that's it. The cost benefit analysis plus what the neighborhood wants to do. I agree. It should be granted.
and I agree too, for some additional reasons, having looked at the design manuals and county policy documents, the alternate development plan creates a better development internally, a safer pedestrian walkway. The 5-foot path could be used by cyclists if they chose to, especially children going to school. And the other element, so I think there's context sensitive design here. It's a much more cohesive development, better connectivity, all those technical considerations. But what the developer also showed is there is virtually no contribution to traffic on this portion of Klausmeyer Road coming from the development itself. At which point I say, is there any, I guess the word is nexus, arising from this development that would justify legally forcing the developer to make these public improvements? And though I understand the county policy, I think it has to be supported factually in many ways, including the impact on the road itself. So in addition to having all the positive, ticking all the boxes regarding connectivity and safety and design considerations and cost benefit analysis and creating a path that goes somewhere. This development plan avoids creating any worse condition on Klausmeyer Road. So those are my reasons, in addition to all of yours, for saying, yes, the waiver should be granted. It's entirely consistent with manuals and with case law. So I think we're unanimous.
Yes.
And I will talk to Ms. Cannington about who gets the writing assignment. So thank you very much. I'm going to conclude this unless there are any issues you think we haven't addressed.
I don't believe so.
I'm good, thank you.
Great. I will add one footnote, is that the testimony from the county pretty much sealed the deal for me, because they said these improvements were in response to existing conditions, not to any contribution from the development. So just wanted to add that information. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. And that concludes this deliberation.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.